Hi, I'm Rebecca, and welcome to my sewing room. This is Sew Be It. Today the video is going to be a little bit different. We are doing a look back at the first 6 months of this channel. I had to double check, but January 8th will be the 6-month mark of me starting Rebecca's Sewing Room. Not only will we be doing a look back, but I also want to tell you a little bit about what I plan to do this coming year. If you haven't seen some of my previous videos, you may not know that my grandma is the one who taught me to sew when I was a kid, when I would spend summers with her and my grandpa. She recently passed at the end of August this year, but she was a truly remarkable woman. This says, Dolores' sewing machine was always busy producing garments and quilts for family and charity. So, Grandma was sewing all the time for that kind of thing. She sewed all the time for my sisters and I as we were growing up as well. And into our marriages, she helped me finish a baby blanket for my daughter. She made a quilt for my sister for her wedding. I'm not sure who else she made quilts for when they got married, but I'm sure she did for many other people. That's where I learned to sew, to begin my sewing journey. I sewed on and off in adolescence, and then when I had my daughter, she was probably 1.5, maybe about 2, when I told my husband that I wanted a sewing machine and to get some help on figuring out how to pick one out for me, because I hadn't really done research and I didn't really know much about it at the time, but how to get some help picking out a sewing machine for me, go ahead and ask my grandma. She'll be able to help you. Well, I'm lucky enough that she gave me the sewing machine that she taught me to sew on, because as had been when I learned how to sew on it, she already had other sewing machines. So I was gifted that original sewing machine from my grandma, and that's what I've been sewing on. So when I got that, I automatically began sewing. I made clothes for my daughter, and then once my son was born, I kind of ran out of time. I had gone back to school, so I was busy with school stuff, and I had 2 kids, both very young. My daughter was not 2 by the time my son was born. So I was a young, busy mom, and I didn't have time to sew, so I put away my sewing machine, and I hadn't gotten it out for quite a while. Well, when I got the bug again at the beginning of this year to start sewing, and I want to say that was April or May, and I started because I wanted to make oven mitts and hot pads, because, well, that should be easy. So I did that. I made I made a few coasters. I made those oversized hot pads, because I put, like, if I make a casserole or something and you don't want a whole bunch of small hot pads for one pan, so I made the oversized ones for big casserole dishes or big pots and stuff to put on the table. But I just could not get my binding right. Everything was moving, and so I got frustrated. And I was about to stop sewing, and I decided, nope, I don't want to stop sewing. I'm going to try something else. So then about 2 years, maybe 3 years before, I had bought fabric because I got an itch that I wanted to sew. I bought fabric in a couple patterns because I was going to start sewing again, and I never did. So I went ahead and I found that, and I made, it was not the easiest fabric to use. It was like a lining fabric and then a chiffon that I had flat lined, and I made the pattern dress that I bought, and it turned out way better than I expected. It was one of the most perfect garments that I had ever made before. And so that put a bug in my butt, and I was just going to continue sewing. And that's what I did. So I just started sewing, and then I decided that, if I'm just going to keep sewing, why shouldn't I record it at the same time and go ahead and put it on YouTube and see what I can do with building a YouTube channel. And that is the start of Rebecca's Sewing Room on YouTube. And as I said, January 8th will be my 6-month mark. So my first video is June 8th, 2024. So happy 6 months on January 8th. As you've seen since my very first video, for the most part, I've sewn garments for myself. I really like to make skirts. They're easy to do. Shirts, they're really easy to do. I love the crazy holiday dresses. That really is my thing. I wanted to go ahead and take a look back at what I've been doing for the past 6 months and the kinds of things that I've been making. As you can see on the table behind me is some of the patterns that I have made multiple times. Or very recently, or ones I just really had fun making. So we can talk about some of them. Probably all of them. This shirt, New Look pattern 6284, was one of the first shirts that, and it might actually be the first shirt that I made on this new sewing journey that I'm on. I made the tank top version. I made 3 of those tank tops, and they are 3 of the most comfortable shirts I have made. I learned that because I changed some of the sizing on the yoke, that it changed the sizing of the armscye. So I have to learn some more about fitting the shoulders and the arms and the bust and how that all changes. Simplicity pattern 8177. I have made the knit top and the long duster. My duster, if you remember from my video, was made out of a sweater knit, and this pattern does not call for a sweater knit, so it was the wrong fabric. But it turned out to be a very nice duster, and the knit top I have made a lot of. The one I have on right now is from this pattern. I wear these shirts multiple times a week because I've made so many of them and I have so many different ones. Quick Sew 2269. It's an old pattern, as you saw in my original video, but this hoodie is very easy, very fun to make, and I'm a jeans and hoodie kind of girl, so this is my kind of pattern. I've made quite a few of these already. Well, I've made 2 of these already, and I still have fabric to make 3 more. New Look pattern N6765, a knit princess seam dress at 3 different lengths. This is a very, very easy pattern. It's a very, very comfortable dress to wear. The first dress I made was the original version here with the high-low hem, and I really love it. It's a good everyday dress. It's perfect for spring and fall because it won't be too hot and it won't be too cool. It goes really good with a sweater, but I don't need to put a sweater on it. It's a very versatile dress. I have also made another one out of knit fabric with 3 different kinds of knit fabric. I added gussets to that dress, and it's fun because it is really big and flowy. I also took the hem all the way down to the floor, so it was all one length. And then additionally, I made 2 fleece dresses from this pattern. That one of them is on a video. I made a video about it. It's my cozy fleece dress. And then another one I did not make a video. I learned a few things from making my first fleece dress, that because this is a knit pattern and that fleece had very little stretch, I needed to add some size to all of my seams. So I added about a 1/2 inch to all of my seams for my second dress, and it's a lot thicker and more plush and soft. I also double stitched those seams so that they would not come undone. or ripped up because the first fleece dress, my seams came apart because I forgot to double stitch them. And that is a very, very cozy dress. I had changed the hood because I used the hood from the hoodie pattern for the fleece dresses. And the first one, the hood was a little bit too small because I had changed the neckline. And then the second one, my hood goes way out here when it's up on my face. So I can hide and I can see everything out, which really, it is kind of fine. It doesn't bother me, but it's not the most comfortable. So I still have to work on that for these dresses. And then the final dress I made from this pattern is a red velvet dress that is so comfy and cozy, and I love to wear it, and it looks really, really elegant. So I get a lot of compliments on it about how nice I look even when I don't try. The other thing that you guys saw a lot of this year was this book, the Dressmaking the Easy Way, where I use this this book to make multiple dresses, just for everyday dress and for the holidays. And I really, really have enjoyed using this dress, and it's quite basic, and I can do some stuff, I can make some alterations, but I still haven't quite learned how to use that bodice block to make my own style of shirt yet. And so that's one of the things that hopefully I will be working on in the future, either this year or in the coming years of this channel. You'll see me learning how to do that, because I want to be able to take the skills that I've learned in here and then adapt it even more to be able to change the style of the bodice, of the dress from just a basic block pattern. So the vintage reproduction of McCall's pattern M843 is this nightgown and robe set, and I have this here not because it's one of my favorites, but because I really, really enjoyed working on this pattern. It's an easy pattern and it makes a really pretty final result. So I really had a good time with this, and I will be making more of these in the spring because my originals were out of flannel for my daughter. I'll be making more of them in the spring for her as well, out of like linen and cotton fabrics. These two patterns are up here because these were my most recent makes. Unfortunately, the petticoat pattern, which is this one, it's a Simplicity pattern, but it's also a Gertie pattern. It's Simplicity S9293. It's a petticoat and a slip, or a slip. You can make the slip dress with the petticoat attached or just the petticoat. That was supposed to be made to either attach or go underneath my Christmas dress. And then if you watched my Christmas dress video, I had some mishaps. And so the petticoat itself did not get done. However, McCall's pattern M7832 is the dress that I made for my Christmas dress. I made version D with version C sleeves because I really, really liked the idea of those bell sleeves at the bottom. It overall was not really a difficult dress to make. The fabric that I used for it was not easy to work with, so I might be able to make some better choices in the future with that when I make another one of those. But we'll see. I did learn a few things, and yeah, I just learned a few things, but I do really, really like the dress. I'll be wearing it for probably like Valentine's Day because it's red sparkles, so it's not just specifically for Christmas. Okay, so now to move on to the specific patterns that I am going to be doing first this year. As you can see over here, I have a stack of fabrics. All of those fabrics will be shirts. They will not all be different shirts, but they will all be shirts. So the first pattern I'll be making in the new year is Simplicity 1544. It's the men's version of the this button-down shirt. I will be using this black and white plaid, this gray and orange plaid, and this orange. It's sort of a houndstooth woven fabric. This will make two different shirts. I do have more of this plaid because it looks like that's not going to be enough. But it does make two of these shirts. And these were supposed to be done for Christmas. And unfortunately, I didn't make the deadline, but he's not really worried about it because they are the first thing that I am doing this year. Now that the holidays and the hubbub, for the most part, are over. New Year's, I don't have to do all of the gifts, so I have time to sew whatever it is I want to sew. After my husband's shirts, I will then be moving on to an actual vintage pattern, and it's McCall's 5207 from the 1970s. It is this jacket right here that I will be making. My daughter is really into blazers and things, and so for Christmas, I told her that I would make her a jacket if she wanted, and when I found this pattern and I brought it home, she just saw it before I put it away. It was on the table, and she said, "Ooh, will you make me that?" Yes, kiddo, I will. So after I make the Christmas plaids, this jacket will be the next thing on my list. So that will be my final two, which I do already have the fabric, but you'll have to come to my video to see what fabric that's getting made into. After the jacket, I have plans for two things. This rainbow-ish plaid fabric, I'll lift it up, and it's got so many bright colors, and that blue is not anywhere near as blue, or it's way more blue in real life than it is on camera. These colors are so much brighter than you get to see there. That is for me, because when I went to find the plaid for my husband's shirts, I fell in love with this and knew that he might like it, but he probably would not wear it. So I went ahead, and it was 50% off when I had to take my daughter to go get some fabric. And so I got it for myself because I already had this Simplicity 1538 pattern women's button down. And so this pattern will be made into that rainbow-ish plaid that I have. Finally, one of the things that I have been wanting to do for quite a while is make my own pants because of the issues I have with the bloating. I have to have like 4 different size pants. Not really, but they just are not comfortable. So I've been wanting to try my hand at making my own pants, but I haven't really found a pattern that I liked. Well, thank goodness I found a pattern when I was at Joann's, and McCall's patterns were on sale for $2.99 or $3.99, whatever the deal was. I got a few patterns while I was there, and one of them is this really cool, really funky pant that I found. And it's McCall's R12208. So I'm really loving that belt and the loose fit. And then I can make the waistband or the waist the size I want and the size I need. And I have some nicely, there's a decent amount of spandex in the denim that I found that will be making this pair of jeans. So hopefully they'll stretch nice for my waist every single time I blow. So other than these patterns and obviously just the regular garment sewing that I've been doing and I really enjoy doing, what am I going to be doing in the coming year? So because my grandma did pass and I was the only sewer in the family, I inherited her sewing machine and her embroidery machine and her sewing room, basically everything in it I inherited. Well, I am still using the old sewing machine that she gave me years ago when my daughter was a little child. So the first thing I plan to do, as well as working on these shirts, so who knows if the shirts will be first or if me learning my machine will be first that you get to see, who knows. But I will be learning the new machine very soon at the beginning of this year. We will be moving my sewing table, the new sewing table in, and the new sewing machine in, and I'll be able to get all of that stuff organized and ready to go. And so I will be doing that this year. Another thing that I am planning to do is begin quilting. I quilted with my grandma one time. It was the first pattern or the first project she had me do. I had to make a quilted pillow, so we quilted one side and then she actually put the whole thing together for me, but I did the quilting and she basically held my hand and told me how to do everything. Well, that was the only time I quilted, and the last time I tried, I was really, really bad and it looked horrible and I didn't want to do it. So I gave up. So this year I will be working on learning how to quilt. I have a goal to make my husband and my son and my daughter their own quilts, hopefully for Christmas this year. I know that's a lofty goal with all of, that's just a lofty goal anyways, 3 quilts in a year. But also with all of the other things, all the other planning of garments and stuff that I have, that is a lofty goal. So we'll see if that's this year or not. However, I do know there is a quilt, a quilt that I have to get done this year. And that by the end of the year, one of my little sisters is pregnant. And so my first quilt will be the baby blanket that I will be making for her. Well, not for her, for her child, my niece or nephew. We don't know what it is. So that's one of the things I want to do this year. The next thing I have been thinking about, and not doing a ton of research, but I really have to do some more research and actually make a purchase. I need some, and if anybody out there knows or has any advice, let me know of things that I can look into and see what I can find. I need to find some new video equipment and video editing software, because currently every single one of my videos has been recorded and edited on my phone. So I've been using iMovie for all of my editing, which it hasn't been bad. It's quite easy. It's nice that I can do it all on my phone, but I am quite limited as to what I can do. And now that I'm kind of used to things and how it works, I'm ready to take my next step in editing and make my videos better. Also, for the video idea, I really need something external so I can use my phone for other things that I need while I'm recording. It won't drain my phone battery, but also I haven't been able to, even when I had time to get ahead with my recording my videos, I couldn't get too far ahead because all of my stuff had to be stored on my phone and I lost space really, really quick. And so I'm still battling the balance of space with videos and being on time and all of that. So I'm looking for video equipment and storage space and video editing software. Also, because of all of these plans, my videos are going to change. I found these last couple months of the year, I've been really, really stressed out when we got into the role of, we have school 5 days a week. It is usually 3 or 4 hours a day, so it's not terrible, but I do school at my prime thinking time. So if I have to pattern something out or if I have to get really creative with something, I struggle really bad after school to do the sewing stuff that I have to do. That is also the same times that my kids, I have to do the running around for my kids, or we have church stuff or whatever. We're not just a completely stay-at-home, non-busy family. We're busy, and so I'm having issues with getting the videos out on time, as you may have seen. So my videos will be changing a little bit this year to help me not be so stressed. I'm still going to have the videos, the tutorials, we can call them, I'm going to follow this pattern for the most part, and watch how I do it. I enjoy doing those patterns. I like seeing from start to finish, and I like showing off a finished garment and letting you know things that I've learned or things that I've liked or whatever it is. But I won't be doing that for all of them. I will also possibly, if I need to, start releasing multi-part videos. So if I have big projects, I'm really bad about rushing to get done things that I have for a deadline that I set for myself. So it's kind of an arbitrary deadline. But I feel bad if I don't make them, so I rush to get it done, and then I make mistakes, or I don't really enjoy it, and I'm stressed out for the end of it. And so if I have to, I'm going to be turning these videos into 2-part videos. I will also be doing some exploration videos. There's a lot of things that I want to learn, like how to construct stuff, what kind of fabric works certain ways, especially since I'll be working with a new machine. I would like to probably do videos on learning my machine, because there's so many new things on that compared to the machine from 1976 that I've been using, or 1972. I still can't remember because I haven't looked back. But either way, my machine from the 1970s is a lot less fancy than the new machine that I have. So I'll be doing videos for that. Especially since I'll be learning quilting, I'll probably be doing exploration videos for how to do that. You know, the seam allowance, because those rules change. How do I make the corners nice and square when all of the fabric meets? Those kinds of things. What do I do? I'll probably just put that kind of thing into a video. So you will find some of that kind of thing. Finally, for Christmas, when my husband said, "Hey, what do you want?" I asked for 2 sewing books. One of them is, I can't remember. I think one of them was pattern making. And I know one of them was pattern grading for women's patterns. In addition to those 2 new books, I also have Patternless Fashions, which is making your own patterns based on your measurements and ideas in the book and learning from that. Embroidery, but I'll keep using this. You might see that too. I may be doing some exploration videos on different embroidery stitches, because I have ideas for this shirt pattern here where I actually want to embellish the yoke part of the shirt with embroidery and beading. So I'll have to explore some things about that. And then I also have the Bishop method of clothing construction, and I want to explore the methods in this book. Whether all of that happens this year or in the future years of this channel, that is how our outlook looks so far, or for what I can see in the future of Rebecca's Sewing Room and Sew Be It. So I have a lot to look forward to in the coming year of Sew Be It, and I hope you will continue to join me, or if this is your first video here, I hope you will start joining me and follow along in my sewing journey. Maybe you can learn from me from my mistakes. Maybe you can learn from me from my successes. I've really enjoyed learning. I've learned quite a bit already in the last 6 months, and I really can't wait to learn more. One of my favorite things is making my own clothes and then wearing them out and getting compliments from them. Or, you know, people saying, "Oh, that's a really cute top. Where did you get it?" And I say, "Oh, I made it." That floors people, and I really enjoy that. And I would love for somebody else to have the same feeling as I do, the pride that they get in the work that they do, the time and effort that they put into it. You never know what you can make. I just want to say thank you for watching my video. I do hope you liked it. I hope you are excited to see what is to come on the channel. And I hope you'll come back and watch. Let me know what it is that you're doing with your own creative crafts, or if you maybe don't actually sew but would like to learn. I'd love to hear about it. So thank you for watching my video. Go ahead and hit that like button for me, because it'll help my algorithm. If you subscribe, you will then be able to see all of my posts, and if you hit that notification bell, YouTube should notify you every time that I post a video. I try to post all of my videos on Tuesday. Go ahead and watch out for my next video. Thank you for watching Sew Be It.